And welcome back to my mom's basement. It's Robbie Fox, and I'm here with it's basically a monthly check-in now with the boss, the UFC president, Dana White. Honored to have you here again. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Let me ask you this right off the top. Are you used to the time zone change in Abu Dhabi yet, or is that still messing you up?
Yeah, I think we've been here 9 days so far, and it's still a little tough. I'm sleeping pretty good through the night, but it's rough. It's a rough adjustment.
Is your phone blowing up at all hours of the night because fighters in America don't know that you're sleeping and they're texting
Yeah.
you, they want fights, shit like that?
Yeah, it's mostly business stuff, but yeah, my phone blows up all night. So I usually get up around 4:30 or 5 o'clock and go through the phone and respond and do what needs to be done, and then try to get another couple hours in before I get up.
Wow, it's unbelievable. All right, so you're fresh off the first show back on Fight Island, like you said, UFC 253. Real quick, just want to get your overall thoughts on the card that was, the show that it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was super successful in a million different ways, and we broke records on that show, and obviously not the fight of the year like I had anticipated, but an absolute dominant performance by Adesanya.
Yeah, it reminded me of like an Anderson Silva in his prime performance. And I know I'm not the first to say that. People were putting it all over Twitter on Saturday night. Stylebender mentioned maybe wanting Jared Cannonier if he got through Robert Whitaker coming up, which is a fight coming up on Fight Island, actually. What did you make of that call out? And is that something that you're interested in that fight going forward?
I mean, that's the call out to make. A lot of times these guys will win and they'll call out somebody that doesn't even make sense. That's the call out that makes sense. I thought that was a stud move by him. And not only did he call out Cannonier, he said, but if Whitaker wins again and he wants to fight again, I'll fight him too. Guys, that's what you got to love about, when you have a fighter who's on top of the world and he's literally willing to face all the best. Who looks like the best? Who looks like they might be the next guy? That's who Adesanya's calling out. I love it. I respect it. And when Paulo Costa was hurt, what did he say? He said, "I want to fight Yoel Romero. It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
He doesn't deserve a shot, but I want to fight him anyway." I'm telling you that those are the guys with that type of mentality and think like that become huge stars. And Adesanya is on his way.
Do you look at a performance like he had on Saturday night and as a promoter have any urge to rocket him to that Jon Jones super fight? I know that they've been, going back and forth on social media even since Saturday night. Do you think we're inching closer to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to him. If he thinks he wants to fight Jon Jones. I mean, Jon Jones said the other day, the guy's got 100 fights. If he wants to fight, we'll see. Now, normally when that kind of stuff happens, they start talking about fighting out of their weight class. I don't always love that in most situations, but Adesanya has beat everybody, man. The only guy left is if Cannonier wins, Cannonier would be, the next guy. The only guy he has to beat. The great thing for a guy like Adesanya, when you look at what he's done and who he's cleaned out, there's still a bunch of options. We're talking about Cannonier. We're talking about Whitaker if he wins. We're talking about Jon Jones. He talked about Blachowicz. I mean, there's just so many different guys he could fight. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, the Blachowicz one, even that makes sense right now. Let me ask you this: did you have any issue with any of his post-fight antics? Any of the humping? Any of the telling the coaches I'm going to come on you? Any of that?
Listen, it's not my. Um, in this pussy ass, oversensitive fucking world that we live in today, everybody's fucking crying about something. This is the fight business, man. This is a rough business. Mean things are said to people. Mean things are done to people. That fight ends one of two ways. They get up and they shake hands and they're cool after, or it ends the way Adesanya ended. You know what I mean? This is the fight business, guys. If you can't fucking handle it, don't cover the sport. You don't have the stomach for this shit. Yes, mean things are going to be said to each other. Mean, terrible things will be said, and mean things will be done to each other. That's this business.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about cage fighting here. Did you see that after Costa found out that he got humped. He didn't find out till days later. He demanded an immediate rematch. He says it's what everyone wants. It needs to happen now. I assume he will not be getting this shot.
No, there will not be an immediate rematch.
No humping clause in the contract?
No, there was not.
What did you think of Stylebender's plea to you after the fight about fighters missing weight? And he basically said that they should get charged 90% of their purse, and they should be penalized a lot more than they currently are.
I don't think anybody would disagree with that. I think that everybody hates when somebody doesn't make weight. But we don't control that. The athletic commission does. Collectively, I think we could all push, for higher stakes if you don't make weight. And I don't disagree with Adesanya. I think that if the number was higher, less people would not make weight.
Yeah. All right. So I saw also a few days before this card, you broke a tooth. Was this a Dana White candy shop incident? What happened there?
Yeah, it was the candy shop incident.
I know it. I knew it was the candy shop.
Let me give everybody a little piece of advice. Don't chew fireballs. Okay, suck on them.
So you broke a tooth on a fireball.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Broken teeth are pretty much the worst thing. Going to the dentist.
Yeah.
The worst. All right, we got to address the elephant in the room.
Not the way to start out my 5-week stint on Fight Island.
No, definitely not. We got to address the elephant in the room. Let's get it out of the way. A few days ago, Conor McGregor posted some private DMs with you. This was on Friday. From way back in February, these DMs were, and you weren't too happy about that. You said that it broke the man code, and Conor shot right back. He said, the code was broke when you lied about me turning down fights, mate. I said, Justin in May, and you went and said, I did not want to fight. It's not about Diego. Diego is a filler to get more fights in. Also, you have been involved in Manny talks. The legal letters are there. Stop lying. Love to know what your response to that is, and if you've had any contact with Conor outside of the public stuff that we've seen.
Yeah. No, we have not. Conor and I have not talked outside the public stuff. And I don't know if you just saw, but the Saudis went after Conor, basically said, you better take that. That's a lie that fight is happening, and you better take that down in the next 15 minutes or we're going to sue you.
I did not see that.
Yeah, he took it down. You don't see the poster anymore about him and Mackie, him and Pacquiao that he had posted, and then he called out Poirier for a fight with Conor in Dublin for charity. So we offered them both a fight. So
I figured that would be the next step. Yes,
we offered Dustin and Conor a fight. So we're waiting to hear back from both of them.
Now, when you saw him put out that exhibition challenge to Dustin on the same day as UFC 256, and he said, I want this to have nothing to do with the UFC, like, what did you think of that? Do you roll your eyes? Do you put out the offer and just say, fuck it? All right, if you want to fight, fight. Like,
I've been doing this for I've been doing the UFC for 20 years. I've been in the fight business for 19. I mean, I don't know what would you expect me to do? As I've been through all of it.
Does that piss you off? Like, do you laugh at it?
Yeah, it didn't piss me off. No.
Interesting. That's very interesting to me. And I assume there's something in both guys' contracts that
prevents
them from fighting outside of the UFC, yeah?
Nobody knows more about this business than I do. How it works, how it runs, how it's going to play out, all those things. Nobody.
Listen, I trust you. One more Conor question for me. What has been, in your eyes, the biggest difficulty in getting him in the octagon this year? Because his plea over and over again is sort of his public thing is, I want to fight. He's, calling out the CEO of Disney and saying, I'm trying to get fights. I'm requesting fights. I put out 4 fight requests, and I can't get a fight.
What the fuck is the CEO of Disney going to do?
I don't know, Conor, but Conor put out a bit of an SOS to him in an Instagram post.
He's got nothing to do with this.
I think Conor thinks he's your boss.
Got it.
I think that's what Conor thinks.
Let me make this very clear. I made it clear before to some other guys. I don't have a boss.
Not even the CEO of Disney. Not even Mickey Mouse himself.
I do not have a boss.
All right. Well, I appreciate you.
I run the ship here. The buck stops right here.
I appreciate you entertaining that. Actually, one more thing. Khabib recently said that, an offer was made for him to host The Ultimate Fighter with Conor, and he said that that'll never happen. I'll never rematch Conor, never in a million years. What do you think about that?
Yeah, he was gonna do it until Conor did all this shit. I almost had that's what I was saying. I felt like I was in a good place and I was gonna get that done. So we were gonna do the Ultimate Fighter on ESPN and fucking do the rematch. But Conor blew that. So and the other
Khabib
thing
was
is I don't understand what
Conor's recent stuff. You're saying with all the Conor recent stuff against you, that blew it for Khabib.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a tipping point for him.
Khabib said, "Fuck him."
Interesting. I wouldn't expect Khabib to be in, and then that to be the factor that brought him out of it. Wow, that's shocking. All right.
So then, my question is too: when did I say Conor wouldn't fight? I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. When did I say he wouldn't fight? I mean, I've been saying he's retired. Yeah. I mean, did you not see the post where he said he's retired?
No, I mean, I've been asking you about it for months, and you just keep telling me he's retired and he's not fighting, and you're not thinking about him in a business sense.
Did he ever make a post and come out and say, "What the hell is that dude talking about? I'm not retired."
No, I mean, I think he's technically still retired. He's got the Instagram, Twitter picture of him jet skiing, so I think that means he's retired.
Jason Wooler is fucking up my shit, whoever that is. All right.
All right, we can move on from that. Let's talk heavyweights. I know Stipe Miocic only just defended this title, but there's a lot of buzz around that division right now. It seems like the division is back to what it used to be, at least in a sense. That fight in August was incredible. Stipe says he's not very interested in the Francis Ngannou rematch. It doesn't excite him. He's looking for a new challenge, he says. Is that the fight to make next? I know in your eyes you said it was after the fight, but if Stipe's not interested in that, would you be interested in Jon Jones getting an immediate title shot at heavyweight?
That's the fight to make. Francis Ngannou, I mean, what year was that when those two fought last time? Do you guys know off the top of your head?
It had to be beginning of 2019, 2018. It was in January.
Oh, really? Like, I thought it was longer than that.
I remember that. You were next to friggin' our guy Soupman for that fight.
That was 2 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
So the guy has worked for the last 2 years to get back in position to fight for the title. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou deserves that title shot, and he's going to get it.
So if Stipe Miocic is saying, I don't want Francis, I would rather fight Jon Jones, that's not something you would be open to?
Yeah, you can't jump over. Can't let Jon Jones jump over Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou has worked hard for the last couple of years to earn that spot.
All right. Further down the line in heavyweight division stuff, have you had any discussions with Brock Lesnar since he's became a free agent?
No. Brock and I have not talked.
Okay. And you said you would have some boxing news for us soon. Now, Stipe said that boxing was an interesting thing to him, maybe a new challenge for him. When you launch this thing, do you expect crossover like that between UFC fighters wanting to hop in, or do you want to keep the worlds separate?
I don't know, man. I mean, the Conor thing was the right place and the right time with the right guys to do it. Boxing guys shouldn't be fighting MMA guys, and MMA guys shouldn't be boxing guys. You know what I mean? It's just
personally, I'd rather the world stay separate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got some fun fights coming up on Fight Island as well. Just next week, we've got Holly Holm taking on Irene Aldana. We got awesome heavyweight co-main. That's one the Octagon will be shaking for. Carlos Condon's back in there. What are you looking forward to the most next week? Yeah,
I mean, there's some fun fights. The Germaine de Randamie, Juliana Pena fight is fun. So this is a big deal for Aldana too. She finally has worked her way up to a fight with Holly Holm. I'm happy for her. So should be fun.
Yeah, I know you talked after Holly's fight with Amanda Nunes and said that, maybe it was time to start winding down for her, at least looking at things. Do you think if she loses this fight, it will be the end for Holm?
I don't know if it'll be the end, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's looking at, what her future is and how much longer she's going to do this.
Yeah. Can we expect a date for Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan coming soon?
I don't know off the top of my head.
But is that fight in the works? That's something that, we could look forward to?
I think so. Listen, anything beyond Fight Island.
All right,
No
let's
bueno.
talk Fight Island.
I'm
I'll go
not
back to
thinking
Fight
about
Island.
anything but Fight Island right now.
I'll go back to Fight Island. One of the fights that I'm looking forward to the most on this entire stretch of Fight Island is the main event in 2 weeks. It's the Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega. This is
Me
a fight
too.
that we've wanted forever, right? I mean, since it originally got booked, I feel like it's been booked a few times now. It's almost the junior version of Khabib and Tony in that it just keeps getting canceled. What do you think of the entire feud that we've had thus far between Zombie and Ortega? What did you think of the translator getting slapped? I mean, that was crazy, right?
I know it's fascinating because they're both such good guys. It just you can't even see that
and they hate each other
going down with those two. It doesn't even make sense. But that being said, it's going to be a badass fight. It's one of the ones that I'm really excited about for sure.
Yeah, and the matchup, just even taking away the feud from it, having Korean Zombie in there with Brian Ortega, looking at them as just fighter A and fighter B, blows my mind. I can't wait for that fight. And then after that, we've got UFC 254, might be card of the year. You guys have put on some pretty good ones this year. The Masvidal card was legit. The Covington card was good. But this card, top to bottom, is like a main card, basically.
I agree.
Tell people what you're looking forward to the most on 254. This is headlined by Khabib versus Gaethje, if people don't know. I don't know how people don't know, but.
I mean, obviously, you have to. The main event is obviously the fight that you got to be the most excited about, and then the co-main, Whitaker versus Cannonier, is a badass fight. I mean, that could main event, and everybody knows how I feel about Rafael dos Anjos. Every time that guy fights, it's a tough fight. Struve and Tuivasa, I mean, that's a fun one too.
Yeah, Struve back in there, the skyscraper.
So many fun fights on this card.
It's a great one. And this, do you expect this to be your last run on Fight Island for the year, or do you expect to be back before 2020 is up?
No, we won't be back on Fight Island again until 2021.
But you will be back for sure.
Yeah, I mean, unless
yeah,
we're going to be coming here, and we have 5 fights. We have a 5-year deal with these guys to put on 5 fights. But until the rest of the world gets normal again, Abu Dhabi is the fight capital of the world.
You making any progress on that house market?
I haven't even done anything yet, no, since I've been here.
Unfortunate. I'm telling you, Matt Serra, Dana White, Ally Quinta, looking for a house. That's the next show. That's the next show. And by the way, the most recent looking forward to a fight with Matt Serra talking to Diego Sanchez, his coach, at breakfast. I mean, Daniel Cormier said it best. How do you teach the school of self-awareness and not be self-aware enough to know you don't interrupt Matt Serra at breakfast? Unbelievable.
Right.
Dana,
That's
this
hilarious.
Has been a good time, as always. I appreciate the time. I appreciate you answering all the Conor McGregor questions. I assume those are, the most pleasant to answer. I assume you're tired of it.
It is what it is, man. It's all good.
All right. Like I said, we got fights on Saturday. We got the Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega the next week. We got UFC 254 the next week. If you're in Pennsylvania, make all the bets on this Barstool Sportsbook. I don't know if you've seen, we launched that in Barstool. We'll get that in Nevada soon.
I watch the pizza reviews all the time, so he's been promoting it in the pizza reviews.
I love it. All right, Dana. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time.
Take care, brother.